my dear friends. Thank you for tuning into this video and listening to me today. I am Nivedita and I'm a clinical hypnotherapist and an energy healer. Today I'm going to talk about the inner critic. What is this inner critic? Well, it is that inner crazy radio inside us which is super critical of whatever we are doing. And sometimes these voices could be pretty disempowering. Have you encountered those kind of inner critical voices inside you? Well, I too have these inner critical voices, and trust me, I have worked a lot on this inner critic of mine. And when I'm working with my clients, also, I can encounter this inner critic with them, and these voices which could be pretty disempowering. However, the good news is we can always work with these voices, tone them down so that we are more empowered to do the things that we would like to do. So today I'm going to talk about it. So pause this video for a couple of seconds and write down what are those inner critical voices that come up, that you encounter, especially when you're starting to do something new, or you are going to start a new project, or you are making new friends. So what are those inner critical voices inside you? Like, for example, it could be, I am always going to mess up things, or I know I will not be able to get it right the very first time, or you are always getting things wrong, you are not good enough. So what are these inner critical voices inside? So write them down, and maybe the strongest one could be the ones on the top, and the other toned down ones could be in the bottom. So give yourself a couple of seconds and write them down. So when does this inner critic starts to develop? Well, it has been seen that from the ages of 0 to 8, during a developmental stage, when we are just growing up as a child, we are soaking in everything that is coming up from the environment. And the way we think about ourselves, our early life experiences that we have shape up this inner critic, and how we were spoken to, how our teachers, our parents, our aunties, our uncles, how did they talk to us, and what kind of experiences that we had with them probably shaped us up. Like, for example, a mom telling a child, like, oh, you always have to behave in a certain way, you have to be a good girl, you have to be a good boy, and or people might not accept you, or a teacher saying in the class, oh, you have to keep your focus and attention, or you will not be able to absorb what I'm saying. So but as we were growing up as a child, we were soaking in all these experiences, and sometimes when the experience was not so positive, it became like a belief, and it's like, okay, if I don't pay attention, probably I'm not good enough. If I'm not polite, I will not be able to make friends. These people who were training us were not wrong, but however, the way we interpreted it probably made up this personality. And sometimes this voice was very, very strong. It's like your parental voice, which is always there warning you. It's good to have this system, but if it is all the time there, it's like a super critical voice. It definitely is a very, very, very disempowering voice. And now that we know as adults that there is this voice inside me, which is the inner critic, I'm sure we can do something about it, because this is a disempowering state of mind, and we can always bring this tone, this crazy radio down. Like, sometimes when you don't like a music which you're playing in the car, right? What could you do? You could switch over the channel, you could like the music that you want to hear, or you just tone the voice down. So we could do that, isn't it? There is always a solution of what we could do about this voice. So now that you have written that down, what are those supercritical voices inside us, and let's see, just ponder for a couple of minutes, and see that get an experience, or from where you have got this. So what is the experience that is coming up? Does this voice is like a male voice, or is it more like a feminine voice? What is this kind of voice? Whom does this voice remind you of? So get a kind of a knowing of it. Again, you can pause the video for a couple of seconds and check what is what is the tonality of this voice. Is it too harsh? Is it feeble, or does it belong to a male personality, or is it a feminine voice? Just get a kind of a knowing and a feeling of it. And maybe you can relate to some face which is coming up. Maybe you can relate to some childhood story, or you can relate to your school teacher who was probably shouting at you or maybe screaming at you. So if I have to give you my example, right, that inner critical voice which used to be there inside me used to be of my piano teacher, right? So she was very sweet, but she was pretty harsh with all of us. She always used to say that if you don't get the notes right, I'm going to, so we used to have that corporal punishment. I'm going to, kind of give you I'm going to spank you. So we used to be so scared, right? You will not get it right. She always used to say to all of us, like, you'll never get it right. So I used to be really, really scared, and this inner critical voice was always with me. Every time I would like to play an instrument, it'd be, oh, you're not going to get it right. I really had to work on this voice, and yes, I have definitely overcome it, and I have toned down this inner critical voice inside me, and I feel much more empowered. So now that you have that, kind of the person, or somebody who has the experience that you have, if you have been able to bring that up, I want you to now gently close your eyes and just take 3 deep breaths. Breathe in through your nose and breathe out through your mouth. Breathe in once again and breathe out, and inhale and exhale. Now see yourself in a comfortable place. So if you're listening to me and you are in your room where you feel comfortable, or it could be a place of your choice where you feel comfortable, you feel relaxed, and call that person from whom you feel you got this supercritical voice. And it could be your mother, it could be your father, it could be your teacher, your uncle or aunt, anyone. And breathe it out of your system and let go of the energy of whatever you got from that person. Breathe it out. Let it go, because it's somebody else's energy that you absorbed. So maybe sometimes it's also going out from your ears, or it's going out from your heart, or wherever from the body it is going. And breathe back your energy that you lost. It could be your trust in yourself, it could be your freedom, it could be your own ability to stand up for yourself. So breathe that back in, because it's your energy, it's your consciousness, it shall travel back to you. Absorb it in, take it in. Let it all come back to you, whatever you lost in this transaction, your energy. And thank that person for being there in your life, and send them back with a lot of love. And now get back to that voice. Has it come down a notch? Has it toned down a bit? I'm sure it has. If not, I would ask you to feel as if there is a small little that knob in your head, and so bring the tonality down. So just slowly reduce the volume of that voice. Yes. feel the peace or feel the happiness. How do you feel when you have brought the, the volume of this voice down? And trust me, when you keep doing it, it will slowly get toned down. And take a deep breath and open your eyes and tell me, how do you feel? I'm sure you're feeling good, because sometimes we really don't realize that because of these voices in our head, we sometimes have personalities of becoming like a people's pleaser, or we become perfectionists, become pushers, and sometimes rule makers. There's nothing wrong in having these personalities. However, when these kind of voices, disempower us, when that pusher in you, or the perfectionist in you, or the rule maker in you, is somewhere disempowering you, because there's always voice in your head which is telling you to do this, and which is very super critical of you. Then probably it's time to tone those inner critical voices down, and you can heal the inner critic. I hope this video made sense to you, where I spoke about the inner critic which is in you, and how to bring the tonality, how to bring the harshness of the inner critic down, and so that we are in a much more empowering state. And if you want to know more about it, and if you want to really work with that inner critic of yours, you can reach out to me, and you can see the work I have done on my website. It's trikayawellness.in, and I also have an Insta handle, trikayawellness_Nivedita. Please reach out to me, and I would really love to assist you in whichever way I can. Thank you so much, and do give me your feedback. Do send me your comments of about this video, and please subscribe. It would be it would be really lovely to connecting to you guys. And thank you so much. Bye bye. Take care.